Good evening.
What's up, everybody?
Doing? Welcome to Ourbondlive. Yes. I have my head wrap on today. It's one of those hair days.
Well, she still looks beautiful. Looks like a Nubian queen.
Thank you. You know, we have our couple's holiday celebration next week, so I am waiting to get my relaxer until next week.
You know how they do.
Yes. So my hair could be perfect for the occasion. I'm rocking with this. So, good evening. We are here.
What's up,
y'all? The Hardmans.
Yes,
we are here every Tuesday.
7 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We like to discuss trending topics that deal with marriage, parenting,
relationships, everything. Life.
All that. Our life, all that. And we try to hardmonize it.
Yeah, and put our spin on it.
Yeah, and give a positive spin.
Yeah.
And hopefully what we discuss can help you in your daily life. So we want you to share, like this page, share,
like.
Yeah, so we're live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook land.
What's up, Facebook?
YouTube. And Periscope.
Yeah.
We are live. So if you don't know about us, we've been married 15 years. We have 4 beautiful daughters. Yeah. And so this topic tonight, I'm nervous about discussing this. Oh my God.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So
this
now, like what we do to give an element of surprise for each other, for ourselves, we don't discuss this.
Yeah, we don't discuss our point of view.
We do not discuss it. We go with the topic. We discuss like, hey, you want to talk about this?
Yeah.
We say, yeah. We do our individual research. And then boom.
And see, there's a level of spontaneity. So y'all see it just when we hear it.
Yes.
All right?
Yes. So I do not have a poker face.
No, she does not.
I know. And the older I get, why even try, right? So
no.
My expressions sometimes, I could be like, what, did he just say that? What? But it is what it is. So it
is what it is.
So the topic tonight is, can you go too far
in your parenting? Yeah.
Can you go too far in your parenting?
Yeah.
So who we are discussing tonight is T.I. and his oldest daughter. He's a step parent. They have a blended family.
Yeah.
So one of the oldest daughters, Deja. So that's them. And if you don't know who T.I. is, he was born, raised in Atlanta, in the A, where we're from. He started as a rapper. Bankhead, yeah. He started as a rapper.
Yeah.
And then he expanded into movie roles, and he's become like a activist, kinda in the community, discussing various topics. Yeah. So he helps. He gives a lot of money around in the Atlanta community, and
philanthropy.
So he's a philanthropist. So, and we met him one time. Yeah. And it's funny, our girls met him and didn't even know who he was. He used our church for a
video,
or in one of the private family thing too, but he used it for a video and a family thing. Yeah. It was so funny. The girls just ran right by him like, hey, and kept it moving. He was like, oh, okay, So the topic tonight, he has his own podcast, but this did not occur on his own podcast. No. He was on someone else's podcast. It's called Ladies Are Us, I think. Anyway, y'all will see the title when I play it. It's about a 52-second clip.
Yeah. And
they asked him if he has discussed the subject of sex with his daughters. And so he gave a response, not telling you what the response is because we're about to listen to it. He gave the response that I think infuriated a lot of people around the nation.
Yeah.
And then recently he went on the Red Table Talk, which is a show by Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
And her mom and daughter, they do that show. So he went to discuss his side of what he meant by that. So we're about to play the clip, but it's like I said, 52 seconds. But I want you all, I cut off by mistake the first couple of seconds of that because I tried to because it was a long discussion, but we already need to hear all that, right? Because they use some curse words and stuff.
Yeah, and we trying
to keep this a Christian show, but discuss relevant topics.
Most definitely.
I sliced it a little bit, but the question that they asked him is, what is cut off a little bit is, do you talk to your daughter, or have you had the sex conversation with your daughters?
All right. Okay. So let's listen.
Talk with your daughters.
Have I? We go.
Which, by the way, your daughters are so beautiful.
So beautiful.
So,
thank you so much.
I'm sure you have your hands full.
And the other one's 18, so she definitely knows about sex.
See,
but
this is the thing.
It's Deja, right? She's 18,
yes,
right?
Deja's 18, just graduated high school now, and she's attending her first year of college, figuring it out for herself. And yes, not only have we had the conversation, we have yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her height.
Oh, okay.
I'm done with you right now.
So,
do you go with her? She's a prisoner.
Yes, I go with her.
Somebody check on Deja.
I go with her.
She's a prisoner.
So let me tell you, right? So this is one time we go. I think this.
Woo!
It's Ladies Like Us.
Yeah, Ladies Like Us.
That was the name of the podcast, Ladies Like Us.
All right, so did y'all hear what he said?
For those that did not hear.
Yeah. He said that not only has he had the conversation with his daughter, but they have an annual trip to the gynecologist. And in that trip, the doctor checks to
see if her hymen has been broken.
Yes.
So that, I think, is called like a purity check.
Yes.
But the doctor also does tell parents that the hymen can be broken in other ways too, like if you're an athlete, riding a horse, riding a bike, so those are other ways that it can be broken, other than sex. But yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And so we are going to discuss.
Keep it real. We got to keep it real. See, and what I love about what we have the opportunity to do through this show is we can be real and talk about real serious topics that sometimes we don't always have, or sometimes parents may not even have with their children. And we get the opportunity to share these point of views on this show. So guys, and girls, this is serious, but this is good. So he went on the Red Table Talk. Yeah.
And what was discussed, they brought out different points, like that can be perceived, tip, this TI is another name, tip, as you being controlling, overbearing, overprotective.
Yeah.
But then again, you ask, how can a father be too overprotective of their daughter?
Yeah.
So that was discussed. Also, too, the different gender roles of the parent.
Yeah.
Should that be him or should it be the mother?
Yeah.
I do know that he was not in the room with her. And her mother,
which was a good thing.
But the mother did allow him to attend.
Yeah.
Those checks, and he was doing that when she was in the house, under his roof. Now that she's 18, she can do her own. She's out of the house.
She's out of the house.
She's in college, like you said.
Yeah.
So that is not done anymore.
Yeah.
So that's just to clarify, just to give you just some of the background information. But it was done while she was living in the house.
Yeah.
And so you want to delve in?
So
what y'all think?
Yeah.
We have some questions we're going to ask.
We got some questions.
We're going to delve in.
And this is a very delicate and sensitive topic, because really when you're thinking about, and I haven't 4 daughters, it is very near and dear to my heart because, as a father, you want to protect your daughters specifically. You want to protect your children, period. But because, having 4 girls, their purity, their chastity, all of that means a lot to me as a father, and I want to make sure that my girls do not experience things that could actually take them to the other side before they're even ready. And we know from a Christian and biblical standpoint that sex should be kept until marriage, and we know that from a standpoint of a biblical standpoint that sex outside of marriage is a sin. So for T.I. to really have that mindset of saying that he wanted to make sure that his daughter had not, gone cross on the other side and crossed over and experienced sex. Now he can't really control her now that she's out of his house, but as long as she's under his jurisdiction, I don't really see that as a problem. And as a father, sometimes I think, we already get a bad rap of not being involved in our children's lives. We already get a bad rap of just being not present or in our children's lives. So to have an active participant as a father in the life, especially of his daughter, to be able to go to the gynecologist and make sure that she hadn't crossed over. I would keep saying crossed over to the other side, but let's keep it real. Hadn't had sex. So I think he's doing a fatherly duty, but I think too, to add a caveat to that, you just can't check the daughter as it relates to going over, having the visit for to make sure that she's had a purity test without really having that conversation. The conversation is actually more important to me personally than seeing if they did it or not. Why? Because when you have the conversation, you are able to express your point of view to your daughter and even add context to the whole situation. A lot of times what happens is we tell our children not to do certain things, but we don't give context or give a level of understanding of why those things can be detrimental to you. And I think the conversation, along with going to the doctor's office to make sure that she stayed pure from that standpoint. But here's the thing too. That's only one aspect of purity. Kids are doing a lot more than just having intercourse.
So that's why a conversation is key.
Is key.
Now,
most definitely.
He said that if she were to become pregnant at a young age, he would have automatically been looked at as a bad father. Why didn't you watch her closer? Why weren't you more involved and all that?
You was out in them streets.
So he was taking it as, I'm just telling you his stance. I have my own opinion about everything, but I'm not going to share it yet. But he was taking a stance of trying to be proactive.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then I'm going to share something else real quick before we get into the first question. But they also asked him, well, is there a double standard? Because are you that
same
involved
way with your sons?
And he has a lot of sons. A lot. What, 3?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a lot. Okay. But he has sons. And how he answered that was he answered it in a simple kind of logical way. It was like, okay, if my son gets someone pregnant for the next 9 months, that does not change his life. Mm-hmm. He comes to the house, keep doing what he's doing. But if my daughter gets pregnant, immediately the household changes instantly. So he said that the stakes are higher. That's how he responded. So I'm going to get into my opinions.
Yeah.
But let's delve into the first question.
All right. So we got questions, and how we do things is we want to make sure that you guys participate in this conversation. So the questions, we want to get your take on it, and please comment and respond with your point of view when we put these questions up, because this continues to add fuel to the dialogue. So please do so. So question 1, let's look at question 1. And when we look at question 1, we want you guys to chime in. So first question, you want to do it, babe?
Yeah. First question: are there any boundaries in parenting with children? Okay. Are there any boundaries in parenting with children?
All right.
What do y'all think about that?
One more time. Are there any boundaries in parenting with children? All right.
Okay.
So go ahead. I'll let you.
So let me delve into this, and you all can comment, and we'll read your comments.
Yeah.
I think that there are some boundaries. I think, like for instance, for this, you've only gone to the gynecologist with me whenever I had a baby in my stomach. Mm-hmm. But when I go for my annuals and other things, I don't want him in the room. I just don't. That's just a private moment. He doesn't even have to be there. It's a private moment. Mm-hmm. So I think that there are periods of there's gender specific roles when dealing with certain children. Mm-hmm. So for my girls, that goes into. But okay. So for my girls, that goes into one of the questions. Sorry. For my girls, they can. We're talking about boundaries. For my girls, they can talk to me about anything, and they do. They do. There are certain topics that they won't talk to their dad about. They have their safe place with me. And of course there's boundaries. Now the girls are up in age and things like that. You have to watch what you're wearing around the house. He can't just be opening their room door without knocking first. There's just boundaries. There's just some things that we have set in place. And then another thing too, I forgot my thought.
Well,
I just had a senior moment.
You just had a senior moment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll just say this. There are certain things I don't even want to be privy to.
That's true.
From a father's perspective, knowing that my daughters are teenagers now and they're going through some things. Right. And I don't want that has, I don't want nothing to do with that. Now, when it comes to little boys, that's me. I'm going to be the grizzly bear that I'm supposed to be, because my protection over my daughters is key for their development, growth, and livelihood, and just them being able to flourish and thrive. And so my mindset is, you don't put your focus on them little boys. Put your focus on the books. Get yourself in a position, and
that's your focus, right?
Yeah.
And then my focus is I talk about feelings, how you feel there, because he doesn't understand how it feels to be
a teenage girl. I do not.
He does not. He doesn't understand how it feels whenever you got a little boy thinking that you're cute, talking to you. He doesn't understand.
I know the other side.
He knows the other side
of what the little boy
is thinking. So for me, I'm preparing them to be like, okay, this is how you respond. You do need to be focused on your books, your schoolwork, and stuff like that. But don't act like the other girls. Yeah. You need to. You represent. The Hardman name. You are to represent yourself as classy, not ratchet. You need to be a young lady. Yeah. You need to if you respect yourself, they will respect you. So like those are the type of conversations.
Hey Kim.
Hey, those are the type of conversations that I have. He'll tell them, don't be talking to no boys.
Well, I understand that interaction with little boys is going to happen. So I understand that. But my role and responsibility is to make sure that their focus is not on them.
On boys.
Their focus is on what they're going to school for, which is to get an education, to learn, to really have an opportunity to build who you are as a person, grow your personality with interaction with other kids. So that's going to happen. That's going to be a part of life. So I don't, tell them not to be able to communicate. However, that should not be your focus. You should not be going to school to get up with boys, anything like that. You should be going to school so that you can learn and so that's my mindset. And I understand what she says, even from the feeling standpoint. I understand that. It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
They do not talk to him about boys. Just last night, I was baking a cake with my girls. Just last night, baking a cake with the girls. We had mentioned, I don't know why we were talking about different kids, some of their friends, but I was like, yeah, his voice, this little boy's voice is deeper now, than the last time you saw him, babe. And he was like, how you know his voice deeper? And I was like, because they talk occasionally.
And I said, when
he looked at one of our daughters like, when the last time you talked to him? And she was like, last week. Why are you talking to him? See, so they don't talk to him about. I was like, my God! I just mentioned. I was just talking about boys, how they mature.
Here's the thing: they need to know.
That's true.
But see, now, sometimes on her part, she be going around and having these little conversations with her daughters. I should. I understand that. However, we got to communicate.
Okay, let me tell you something. Our girls understand that their father is crazy, their uncles are crazy, and my husband's frat brothers are crazy.
Yeah.
They are afraid to mention anything.
We was just at a frat get together, and one of the frat brothers was like, listen, all he got to do is just let us know what's going on, and we're gonna be there.
And so when you instill that fear, that's good.
Rule to the cues.
But that's good. But they are going to want to have those conversations.
Most definitely. And I understand that, and I think you give that point of view that they need to have, because you understand what it means to be in their shoes. I don't. My job is to be the protector of this household, protector of my girls, to make sure that nothing happens to them. And so that's my role and responsibility as a husband. So I take pride in that. That's not a bad thing for me,
Would you go with me to the gynecologist with them?
I would go. I would just sit outside.
You would go?
I would go.
Why you need to go though?
Why don't I need to go?
Why can't you just wait on the report? Why can't you just read and then?
I don't have to go. But if you ask me, I will.
Oh, I won't ever. Let's get this on record. What's today? Today is December 3rd, 2019. I will never ask you to go to the
I will go though. Guess what? I'll go because I'll go.
And so let me tell you what that will do. That's going to make... Okay, so as a result...
but still, you still giving me the report?
Yeah, so you don't need to go.
But I'm saying, if you're still giving me the report, what's the difference in giving me the report in the doctor's office and giving me the report at the house?
It can be intimidating.
Okay.
It can be
I can understand
intimidating.
I can understand it.
Big Daddy is there with little child. It can be intimidating.
All right.
Yes, but we all know.
Yes.
I don't know what she's saying.
Yeah.
She had made a comment or something.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, we got that on record. I'm not going to ask him. And so, he's not going to go. So, I understand what T.I. was trying to do. I just think, and I love that he protects his children. I just think that it was a sensitive issue. That was a little bit too sensitive. Before we go to the next question, I did want to say this. He did say that as a result of that, having sex when you're a teenager, that's an adult experience. Mm-hmm. So in living in the house, if you do an adult experience, then he will start giving you more adult experiences, i.e. maybe you have more financial responsibility. If you're making these adult decisions like going out there having sex, mm-hmm. You need to have some type of plan or something, because when you're at home, you should be a child, right?
Yeah,
and they
most
should be
definitely.
Parents, we should be helping them find their way.
Cultivating their gifts.
Cultivating the gifts. So they will have to date when they're in our household, honey.
Huh?
They will it's better for them to date when they're in, like, prom.
Yeah, that's prom.
Going out to the movies sometimes. They will have to do it when they're inside the house so we can help them navigate through that. Because I don't want their first date to be when they're in college somewhere.
See, I think I might be a little more, I don't know, overbearing at that. But maybe that's just a father in me. But I know, back in the day, what happened? You snuck out the house and stuff?
My mama don't know.
Huh?
My mama don't know.
Yeah, what?
My mama don't know when she watch YouTube.
You snuck out the house.
Oh, go to the second question.
It's too late.
Go to the second question.
Something.
My mama don't know. Go to the second.
My mama found out some stuff that happened in she found out.
Go to the second question. Jesus.
All right. Question number 2. Should there be issues that only specific parents can speak to due to the gender of the child? All right.
Read the question again.
Should there be issues that only specific parents can speak to due to the gender of the child? All right.
Someone made a comment.
All right. So
that might be the first question.
All right. So now Dara said, I don't understand. My dad took me to the doctor and it meant a lot to me. I felt like he was concerned, not just barking orders. Okay.
She on your side.
There's one.
That's a lot. That's but I know for for ours, they don't even like to discuss anything. Not even like the actual talk. When I had to talk with them, I've had to talk with 3 of them, and they didn't want him around. So he didn't want to be around.
No, I wouldn't say I didn't want to be around.
No, you didn't want to talk about. I was giving details. You didn't want to be there in that conversation.
In that conversation?
Yeah, you didn't. You told me.
No, you had it with all 3 so far.
Yeah. Remember, I took the 2.
But see, was that before they go to the class that they have?
Yeah,
where the school talks about.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to them first about it.
All right.
You remember?
Well, number 4, I'm gonna be in the conversation.
But at any rate, that's good, Doris. That was so it meant a lot to her.
Yeah,
it meant a lot to her for her dad to take her to the doctor. And so that's a segue, I think, into the second question. Because what about those? Not to say anything about Dora's situation, but what about men that are raising their daughters alone?
Mm-hmm.
There isn't a female there.
Yeah.
Or it could be a widow, or they just have full custody of their kids. Mm-hmm. Or what about those males in which they feel that their baby mama or their ex-wife is not a good role model?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're seeking to, and they want advice, and they might go to the doctor.
Yeah. So I'll say this, and Doris added some clarification. She said, "Oh, my mom wasn't in the home at the time." So
that was.
So there you go.
There you go.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And the question would be
that was awesome that he did that.
If she was in the house, would you have wanted her to be a part more so than him? So you might want to answer that question while we're talking too as well, Doris. But I'll just say this. You think about the aspect of having gender specific roles, because there are certain things that, from a gender standpoint, like she can't teach a boy how to be a man. I can. I have a lot of young mentees, young boys that we have conversations about that. She's not privy to, and that's my job as even in my ministry standpoint, I do that, because boys need to be able to talk about certain things, and they need to be in an environment where they could talk to a man. And when they talk to the man, I can give them good, sound advice, because I've been in their shoes. I walked a mile in their shoes, and so she wouldn't, really know what to say to them, even when they're dealing with certain things. So I think from that standpoint, there are some gender specific roles. Now, if I was in a house with my daughter and God forbid she wasn't there, I would have those talks, and I think I would really probably soften up a little bit, because I would want them to be able to come to me and to express themselves to me. I get to be the way I am because I know she's the go-between, and I know, and so I know that she's giving good sound advice, because we're on the same page about what we expect our daughters to be. Now, growing up with me, and just to be candid, there was just conversations in passing with my parents, but my older brothers pretty much gave me all of the lowdown. So I got 4 older brothers, and all my older brothers basically, they gave me all of the information that I needed to know about girls, and some of it was from their point of view in their 20s, and I was a teenager, and seeing how they responded to certain things, it kind of gave me, I don't know if it was, you could say it's experience, but it was it gave me a different point of view. I'll just say that. I'll just say that, right? Experience right now. Yes. So go ahead, answer the question, man. Did. No, you answer the question. I gave my answer. Now, what's your answer?
For the gender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all you gonna say?
I agree. Ditto. Like you said, you could not. I couldn't. I can't teach a boy how to be a man. I agree. You can't teach a woman how to be a. He's not even listening to me. He reading the comments.
I'm listening.
I can't teach a. No, you can't teach a girl how to be a woman.
A young lady.
Yeah, a young lady.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have some comments.
Yeah. From Ebony, I had to come to the realization that my son needed the view and presence of his father so that he could develop to be a man that I could not give him. Wow. Yeah.
That's deep.
That's deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes both ways. Yeah. I mean,
and you're able to see the fruit of how he blossomed.
Yeah.
Very well.
And I think that's sometimes too, we can have a jaded point of view to the point of where we don't really understand all of the aspects, and then it's not until someone from the opposite point of view or the opposite of sex comes in to really give that level of guidance. We saw the benefits of Ebony going through the situation with her son. and we saw it. My sister,
his
Ebony.
sister name is Ebony as well. My name is Ebony. And his sister's name is Ebony. So when he's talking about Ebony with the son, I don't have no son. Yeah. He's talking about his sister.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
She had to clarify that.
Yeah, I don't have no son. I only got them 4 girls.
Yeah, so with that, but we saw the benefits. And I think, too, with that, when you have a level of structure, and I think, too, from a male standpoint with a boy, there's a level of structure that you got to give a boy to keep his mind in place, and then he got to grow up to be a man, so he can't be coddled in certain things. You can't coddle boys. They gotta, if they fall and get a bump on their knee, as a father, you tell your boy, get up and get yourself together and keep on moving, and it's not just trying to be a macho man, but it's coming from a standpoint of teaching him to be able to deal with failures or bumps and bruises in the road. And what that means is that you can't cry over this thing all the time. You got to be able to dust yourself off and get yourself back in place and go forward. So she also said, hey, Ab, being a single parent, we as women might let go of our pride to make sure our children are whole. We need to let go of our pride, so to make sure that our children are whole. And I think that means a lot. That really means a lot.
And I think too, also, if you're a single parent, there are also other avenues that you can help. Like I that's what I love about his fraternity. All fraternities do this, but they have male mentorship programs. My sorority, mostly all the sororities do this as well. Have female mentorship programs, and there are other organizations that have that
do that. Yeah,
it's for those, even if you aren't in a single parent household, it's good to have your children part of something that will just feed their soul. Yeah, sometimes they don't talk to you about everything. They don't. Like for instance, there's a y'all know in this crazy world, not only we now have to deal with the sex talks, talking about that. We're dealing with sexual abuse, kidnappings, all of that stuff, and trafficking and all of that. And so, you know what I do? I don't know if this will help somebody or not, but my husband is not a part of this. When he sees me and the girls watching this on TV, he'll just turn right back around and he'll leave. But this really helps me out. There's this show called Law and Order SVU unit, Special Victims Unit, and they deal with sex crimes, and it's like real life situations. Even though they say it's fictional is false, right? Not false, not fair. Even though they say it's fictional, if you just open up the paper and read, you can see everything that say it has happened or it's currently happening or something like that, right? Yeah. But I'm able to really talk to them about these different things. To see, hey, did you see she started drinking alcohol and they put something in her drink, and the drink and the alcohol, it just messes with your cognitive ability. And do you think she should have gotten to the Uber by herself drunk? Or like, where were her friends? Her friends just let her get in there. Just little things like that. Or to a young girl. I think one of the episodes we watched recently, a young girl, I think she was 12. She was raped, and then the perpetrator said that if you tell anyone, I'll hurt your little sister. And I was like, how do y'all feel about that? Wouldn't y'all feel like you didn't want to tell someone because you were protecting your sisters? You know, so we have those conversations. He can't talk. He doesn't think to talk to them about things like that.
Don't say that. I don't think to talk to them about. But I think what happens is you do such a good job that it sets it. You already.
So you don't have. Okay.
I don't have to.
You don't have to. I can.
But
okay.
I can.
But you can. You can. So I use other. The one thing about technology, there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad out there. A lot of bad out there with this social media and stuff like that. So there are a lot of examples that I show my girls just to help with their catalog of knowledge when it deals with that sex.
And you know what? And there are some times where we may be in the car and you may not be privy to it, but we have little conversations.
That's
and
good.
I think those conversations are more so about their feelings and their thoughts and how things are going, and even sometimes interaction with other kids. So I do have some conversations like that.
I know you do, baby.
You know, we may not get all the way to the sex or the boys or all of that.
But you have the father-daughter conversation.
But I do have father-daughter conversations, and I want them to be able to come to me still to be able to express themselves. Yeah, they may feel more comfortable with you as mom, but if they ever felt like they were threatened in any way, definitely they can come to me.
Always come to him. And he's quick to go up to the school.
But they think I get like crazy.
Yeah, they quick. Now they'll kind of say something like, "This little boy."
All right, Daddy, calm down before you go to 10. Yeah, this is what.
And next thing you know, he at the school volunteering.
Yeah.
Intimidating.
I gotta look in the face.
Intimidating.
The opposition, the opponents, the adversary.
Here's a comment.
Yeah. Okay. Dara said, my dad stressed to be a lady. My dad stressed me to be, I think that's really a lady. Watch how you carry yourself, dress, etc. Because men go by what they see. Men are visual. He always let me know it was important. And I think that too, when we discussed that, and I think the older they get, the more I'll be able to express some of the aspects of how we view things as males. That can give them even a level of a male point of view, so that they could be aware of that and not just be totally naive or oblivious to what's going on, but they could be aware of what's happening. And I think that plays a major role. That plays a major role.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, like I can, I tell the girls, that the skirt shouldn't be really, too high and stuff like that. Too tight. And if you're going to put something, if you're going to have a short skirt, something needs to be like underneath some tights or something like that. Sometimes they will try to get away with it, but
they're not going to get away with anything if I'm in the house. I'll be like,
he is really quick. He is really quick, so it's hard to kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
But you know, back in the day, they would people. Now I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about other people that I knew in school.
Had outfits in their bag.
In their backpack. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When you just change.
I knew. I believe you had something. Yeah, I think you were a part of that crew.
It wasn't me. So I would see all these people.
Yeah, she would see them, and she would be also in one of those. She would be included in that.
No.
Let me tell you about this one right here. I know we talking about what we talking about, but just on the side, this would think she's slick. She thinks she's slick, but she not slick. She not slick at all.
I can't believe you called me out, my mom. I'm gonna tell Mama we didn't go on the show tonight.
Oh, I'm gonna tell her. Go ahead and watch the show.
I said, Mama, don't watch this.
Episode on December 3rd.
We had some technical difficulties tonight. The show is not available tonight. Okay, there's another comment.
Okay, I taught my son the female version of how a young lady should act and respond to a male, and to look out for the pitfalls. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that's the responsibility that we should have. All right, we got 12 minutes. So let's go to question.
Why are you doing all that talking?
Number 3.
We can't even.
Question number 3.
Okay.
When is the time to give your child the freedom they need in order to grow? When is the time to give your child the freedom they need in order to grow? One more time. When is the time to give your child the freedom they need in order to grow? All right.
What does that mean? When is the time to give your child the freedom
in order to grow? I think, and you're asking, what does that mean? What that means?
What you mean by freedom? All the way freedom?
No, I think you can give freedom in stages through the development of knowing that your child is being more responsible. So you give them a little more freedom when you see that they are actually taking the initiative to do things. Right. That shows that they're thinking about it. They're making good, sound decisions.
Did you just answer the question?
I think I did, but okay. Ebony, when you have the trust that they have understanding of what freedom is.
Right.
All right.
Freedom is earned in our house.
Yeah, it's not given freely.
Yeah.
And not saying that we got our children on lockdown or anything like that, but I think you got to be aware and cognitive, and then you got to take the initiative. I think sometimes too, even with different chores around the house, if our daughters don't take the initiative to really think about, okay, what I need to do and how what I do actually has consequences. Right. So if they're not really at that point where they're thinking about that, then you don't really want to give them a level of freedom, because they're not going to make good sound decisions, and so that freedom can actually be a detriment to them. So
like freedom could be also, the word can be substituted for more responsibility.
More responsibility, right? Right. Yeah, and that's what Dara said. When they show you, they can handle the responsibility.
Like, I was, we're near those driving years.
Getting close.
And I remember, I failed all my driving exams whenever I was in high school. I didn't get my license until I was in college in Alabama. And so I started learning to drive when I was in college. So I be thinking, these kids be getting these cars and stuff at 16, and our girls have already requested the type of car that they want, right? They're going to get that. Whatever. But
what we give you.
At any rate, I just don't think sometimes like their cognitive ability, like I don't think it has developed fully to be behind.
Oh well, they're not even aware of everything.
A deadly weapon, right? You know,
exactly.
So it's like so things like that. I said, when you do start driving, don't think you about to be driving all around ATL. There are only certain. You might just be driving in the neighborhood, go to the store, pick your sister up, drive to school. Stuff like you. So we would do it in little sections until we feel comfortable, and so that's how kind of we do with just other things that we give them.
I see this as I was total opposite from her. She didn't get her license till she was in college. I got my permit the day that I could take the test for my permit. I got my permit, and that was 15, and then the next year I got my driver's license at 16. So, and from that point forward, I have never not been without a car.
Country.
I've been always driving.
In the country.
They didn't have
parallel park on a snowbank. Who can parallel park on a snowbank?
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Your environment.
Every time I took the test, it was snowing.
When you're in that environment, you got to do what you got to do.
That don't make no sense. So I went back down to the South. Like I'm from Atlanta, but then I did go to high school in Rochester, New York. Mm-hmm. Every time I took the test, it was snowing. So I took my test in Alabama. No snow.
She could handle the snow.
But
well, she's driving now.
I'm driving now.
She passed. She made it 65.
I passed my test. But, it just took, sometimes it takes longer. Every child's not the same.
Yeah, every child is not the same. So you have the discernment to know your child's level of maturity. And when you are able to survey them, and that's really what being a good parent, we were talking about, can you go too far in parenting? I really don't think there is too many boundaries of where you can go, as far as, unless you don't want to be overbearing, you don't want to be controlling, but at the same time, because we know that when you are overbearing and too controlling and you don't let your child experience certain things, they get to the point of where they say to themselves, I can't wait till I get out of this house. And when they get out of the house, then they totally go wow, because there was never a level of freedom or trust or responsibility or conversation, because rules without relationships lead to rebellion.
Say that again.
Rules without relationship lead to rebellion.
I think you need to say that one more time.
Rules without relationship lead to rebellion. And I think when you give rules and don't show the understanding of why they got these rules were put in place, first of all, because you are a loving parent and you care about the child's well-being, I think when you are able to explain those things in such a way where your child begins to understand that you love them and you've already experienced some of the things that they're endeavoring to experience, but they haven't gotten to that cognitive level of maturity yet to know how to handle those situations. So as a parent, you are that filter. You are those boundaries. I always use this analogy of when you go bowling and you got the boundaries on the side, because they're not able to handle the ball going straight down the middle to get to their target. You put the boundaries up so that even if they go to the left or to the right, they're able to hit those boundaries but still get to their destination.
They're still in that safe zone.
And the boundaries, I think, are the parents that we're able to have. We're able to be those boundaries that they can bounce off of, but still get to their destination. But at a certain period and point in time, you got to put the guards down.
You got to put those guards down.
And
I think that's when they leave the house.
Exactly. And when you put the guards down, hopefully, because you've set boundaries all before, you've given them an opportunity to see what it means to even go up against those things that you were trying to instill in them. And now they understand that, man, my mom and dad might have been hard or might have been a little strict or might not have always done this, but they cared so much about me that they had the boundaries in place to where I didn't go overboard. I didn't hit the gutter.
Yeah.
So and I think from our standpoint, that's what we should do as parents. We are those guardrails. We are the boundaries. We are the ones that set the tone. And I know when the emotions and the hormones are raging in those teenage years and they're going, we have to be stable, even in their instability, to be able to show them that, hey, we got this, and we're going to keep you in line until you understand the severity of even some of the actions that you may even want to do. Because sometimes kids, we just do stuff sometimes. We used to do stuff and not even know all of the ramifications of everything that we did until later on. And sometimes you don't always understand it. So I think as parents, you have that mindset to set those boundaries. And you know what? And my mom, she said, you all were driving sitting on our laps. That's how you learn to drive. In the country.
Only in the country.
Only in the country.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to be on we couldn't even touch the gas pedal, but we had our hands on the steering wheel driving.
Now, my mom said that her dad my grandfather taught her how to drive whenever she was 12. And so, the girls are asking me, well, Grand V learned. No, honey,
we're in a totally different experience now.
Yeah.
Total different environment.
Yeah,
so
we go to jail for that.
Yeah.
No, not gonna lock me up.
Yeah. So to answer the question, you have to be discerning as a parent to know that the level of maturity that each one of your children may have, and
Stages.
how to express that responsibility that you give them as they progress and as they grow, and as they become, young girls to, young women,
And then for the boys.
To young boys, to young men. Yeah.
Because 18 years is such a short time period, y'all.
Yeah.
I know we have 4 more years for one, 5 more years for another one. And then the other ones was like
7 years and 9 years.
7 and 9. But them oldest 2, it'll be here in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, before we know it, they'll be.
So, and I tell them this too. I'm trying to get all this in you, because then when you get out in the real world, prayerfully, y'all are listening.
Yeah, and taking
it. So let me tell you one thing. I just want to leave this. I know our time is short.
Yeah.
And but kids, I was shocked. But sometimes you think that your kids don't listen to you. But they really do. And so that's why you can't have too many conversations with them.
Yeah.
You can't. There is not like, you're talking to them too much. Yeah. You can't, because they're always listening.
Yeah.
So I remember one time it was at one of our daughters was turning 13, and it was at her birthday party. It was at a skating rink, and so something went down with her, and the oldest one ran over to me and was like, Mom, Oceana, these girls just got up in Oceana face, like they wanted to fight. So of course I was in mid conversation with him on the other side of the skating rink. Yeah. So I immediately just dropped it. He didn't know what I just immediately dropped everything and ran over there. It was like, because I was looking for the girl, like, what's up? And I see Oceana standing there calm with her friends around her. I was like, what's up? Like, what happened? Where are they? They're like, Mom, I handled it. I said, what you mean you handle it? She said one of the girls came over to me and said, you were filming, had a video out of me and my boyfriend. You was looking at me and my boyfriend. And Oceana was like, no, I wasn't. And then she said, well, my friend said you were. Oceana said, well, your friend was wrong. And I said, so what happened? She's like, and the girl just left. She's like, Ma, I just stared her in the eyes and looked at her just like you always tell me to do. I said, oh, really? She's like, yeah, I showed that I wasn't scared. And so I was like, okay. I said, you good? Like, yeah, I was just like, and then she said her friends were looking like, oh, Lord. She said, I just told her, your friends are wrong.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. So she listened. So in my mind, I'm thinking, because I was about to say, okay, I'm about to talk to that other girl and be like, I'm going to call your mama. Don't be messing with my daughter. I'm about to tell
you was about to be the overbearing parent.
I was about to, but she was like, Mom, I handle it. I was like, you good? She's like, yeah. And she was like, and I wasn't even videoing her. I was videoing us dancing. Like, oh, okay. So I fell back. Yeah. So I just say all that to say they are listening. Yeah. They listen.
And they watch.
We had a couple comments before we sign out.
Last 2 comments. It says from Ebony, sister, you have to be willing to forgive and show them compassion when they do make a mistake, thinking about yourself when you were their age.
Yeah, that's true too.
And then always talk about everything. And I think that's key, and that could be what we
something so simple, because I say, hey, when you are speaking with your teachers, look them dead in the eye. When you're going on an interview, do not show fear. You can feel like you about to pee your pants because you scared, but you better not show it. When you come home or when you're in a comfortable place, you can do whatever you want. That's when you pee. That's when you pee in your pants. But when you out and get don't show fear. Look them dead in the eye. Stand flat-footed, firm, shoulders back. Look them dead in the eye. Yeah. And that's what she did. Yeah. In any situation. So, kudos to my baby.
I will say this: there are some times you got to learn when to stand up, and we got to learn to retreat. But we'll work on that. Going down the road.
That's true.
All right.
Those conversations.
So, hey, Miss Shirley. Hey, Shirley. Good evening.
So, what time is it?
It is 8:03. So we are over our time, but guys, we want to thank you for being a part of our show tonight. We had a blast. This was fun.
This was fun. And December we're only going to be having this show and for December just for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Tonight and then 2 more weeks because we're gonna take a 2-week break.
Yeah.
For New Year's Eve and
for Christmas
Eve and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We're not going to be on. We're going to spend time, family and stuff.
So next week on the 10th and the following week on the 17th.
That's it. Yeah, 10. Oh, you just added 7. And that's
7
how you
and
knew
7. That's it, baby. Very easy. All right, y'all.
Oh, he tried it. I
tried it.
You tried it.
Okay. Good night, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week.
Love y'all.
7 p.m. Peace. Hey, family. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast today. We pray something was said or done that was able to bless you and help transform